Hi guys, it's Mandy from Mandyleeplays, and in this video I'm going to give you guys my updated what I beat for the months of July, August, and September. I managed to beat 5 games and I'm happy about it. Not all of them are RPGs or JRPGs, but most of them are. Now before we get into the games I beat, I do want to mention, please hit that like button if you end up liking the video, and consider subscribing if you're not yet subscribed. I'm trying to get to 10k by the end of the year, and I hope we could do it. We are actually really close. And while you're doing all that, please leave a comment and go ahead and hit that hype button. Now on to the games that I beat. The first one is Fantasy Life I, The Girl Who Steals Time. And as of the recording of this video, I still don't know what that I means. Fantasy Life I was the long-awaited sequel to Fantasy Life, which debuted on the 3DS a long time ago. I have it for the 3DS, but I've never played it. So Fantasy Life I was my first introduction to the series, and wow, I get the hype. And this is actually a game that I did finish on stream, so if you want to check out the series for that, then please go ahead. And it's funny looking back because at first I didn't really like the game. I thought it was clunky and slow, and I was just like, where the heck is this gonna go? But then as I played more, I slowly got addicted to it, and guys, it's very addicting. But for anyone who doesn't know what this game is about, I'll give you a little synopsis. The central hook of these games, be it the 3DS or the Switch one, is the life mechanic. You could choose a different life for your character and you can mix and match them and change them on the fly. Now some of them are more important than others and they're not all built the same. The farmer job is really clunky and I really hated it. But picking different jobs and mastering them creates a very relaxing gameplay loop that makes you want to master them all. Now I never used this mode, but there is multiplayer mode. I mainly played single player, but there is that option if you want to adventure with your friends, which is really cool. And even though this game is a RPG, it does have a ton of cozy vibes just littered in there. From decorating your little town like Animal Crossing, or exploring this vast land with different shrines like in Breath of the Wild, this game has a ton to do. And yes, this game does take liberties with Animal Crossing and Breath of the Wild when it comes to the gameplay. So now that I gave you a little synopsis, let me give you my overall thoughts. My mostly used jobs were the mercenary, the alchemist, and woodcutter. And every job in the game has its own mechanics and it feels fleshed out, except for the farming again. Now, like every good life sim RPG, there is a section where you get to build your own town. I honestly thought it was a bit half-baked, there could have been more, but honestly for the game that it is, it was actually really fun. The open world aspect had to be my least favorite in the game, mainly because I'm kind of burnt out on open world stuff, and it just didn't really grab me as the other aspects of the game. But it's not bad, just my least favorite. Now, there is a story in this game, albeit it's not the best, but it's pretty cute. This game as a whole gave me that comfort feel from games that I really love. And I'm happy that I didn't put down this game when I didn't like it, because then I wouldn't have played all the other stuff. Now for the next game I beat is probably a game that most of you haven't really heard of, and that is Atelier Shallie. Atelier Shallie is the last game in the Dust trilogy. That means I finished Atelier Aisha, Atelier Escalade, and now Atelier Shallie. These are old games, but they were made into a definitive edition and bundled together for the Switch, PlayStation, and PC. And yes, I am working through the Atelier series backwards. So I started with Ryza, and then the Mysterious trilogy, and I just finished the Dust trilogy. All I'm missing is the Arlen trilogy. Now I will say off the bat, Atelier Shallie has to be my least favorite in the trilogy, and the main reason, for me at least, is because the protagonist felt kind of flat. Now, just like Escalade, you get to pick between 2 protagonists, which basically have the same name. One is Shalistera, the other one is Shalot, and they both use the nickname Shallie, so that's how we got Atelier Shallie. Now, Shalistera is the one I picked for my adventure, and she's very serious, to the point, because she's the village chief's daughter, and she's in line to inherit the village once her father passes. So she has to be serious and, you know, dutiful. On the other hand, Shala is the more outgoing one. And not gonna lie, she has a better voice actor, and she's chasing her dreams to open her own shop and essentially make a lot of money. But during the game, their paths do converge, so you get to experience both characters, although you're playing just as one character. I initially liked that, but I felt like the characters weren't as different like Escalade trilogy to really warrant a second playthrough because you're kind of getting the same vibe. But even though the characters ran a bit flat, there was a lot of side characters that really helped, not only introduced for this game, but reoccurring characters as well, like Eska and Logi and Aisha. For the plot of these games, essentially the water has been going dry due to the dust, which is an ongoing phenomenon that started in Atelier Aisha, and it's gotten really bad by Atelier Shallie. So they have to go out and figure out a place to get water. But I did like the endings. I won't say in here because it might be spoilers for any of the two people who want to play this game, but essentially it's don't mess with Mother Nature. She will slap back. And I feel for the last game in the trilogy, it did wrap a lot of things really well. Again, it's just the new characters weren't doing it for me. But I did love the reoccurring characters and their character arc. I know I've been kind of harsh on the game so far, but the one thing that I really loved is the alchemy. It is refined to a T. I loved it. Oh, and another really good thing about this game, depending who you ask, is there is no time mechanic. Final thoughts, Atelier Shallie is my least favorite in the trilogy and probably my least favorite in the whole franchise. It did a lot of great stuff, but the protagonist felt flat and the story wasn't really catching me at all. Yeah, it left me disappointed. So this has to be the first Atelier game where I just didn't like. So for the next game is a game that I actually beat multiple times, and that is Bravely Default. Well, this one is the HD one for the Switch 2. Now, before any of you guys come at me saying that I got a key card, no, I did not get a key card. I actually bought it digitally. I would rather buy a game digitally than get a key card, mostly because it's just wasting plastic. Might as well get it digitally, right? This being one of my favorite games of all time, of course I loved it in HD. But to get some house cleaning out of the way for people who might not know about this game, let me tell you a little bit about it. So Bravely Default is a beloved JRPG which debuted on the 3DS. It takes a lot of inspiration from Final Fantasy and it's made by Square Enix. Gameplay is peak, the characters are peak, the story is definitely peak, the game itself is just phenomenal. And the cast of characters are just iconic, from Adele, which she's over here, and her infamous Murgurger, to Tiz being a soft boy, and Anya is always saying unacceptable in her voice. I love these cast of characters so much. Now this game is not a remake of Bravely Default, it's a remaster. So a lot of the graphics stay the same, they're just a bit sharper and cleaner. So you still have the chibi art designs, which I really do love. And they look extra cute in their little costumes. But it wouldn't be a great remaster if there wasn't quality of life changes. And for this game, they put some. For example, heal all options. There's also different combat loadouts, so you could mix and match different sets, and auto battling. So the online features kind of stay the same on the Switch. It takes advantage of your friends that have played Bravely Default. Woohoo! Woohoo! And also, the Norende building mechanic does make a return for the Switch 2 version. So for this part, you essentially build Norende back from the ground up, but doing things in that minigame takes IRL hours, not in-game hours. Although it did fall into the same trap like Animal Crossing, where you could literally go into your system settings and change the date so you could build Norende faster. And I had my Norende built by like chapter 2. I would like to thank Shinky for that helpful tip on how to build Norende very fast, but of course there are some gripes. Number one is the zero encounter rate is not there. The way you do get the zero encounter rate is by playing those damn mini games. Now, isolated, the mini games are not that bad, they're actually pretty cute, but the fact that you have to play them with the mouse controls, it was just a very clunky experience. I just did the bare minimum games and left so I could get my zero encounter. Though there are other items that you could get through the mini games that are really cool, but I was just there for the encounter rate. I'm not going through that again. But overall, it was nice to go back to one of my favorite JRPGs of all time, all new and shiny. And while I feel some changes should have been made, overall, I loved it from beginning to end. And yes, even during that part. If you know, you know. Alrighty, so after all that peak JRPG goodness, I kinda needed a break from JRPGs. And this is where the next game comes in. Story of Seasons, The Grand Bazaar. Bazaar. Now it's time to sit back and get all cozy with this one. This game is literally my emotional support game right now. I am obsessed with it. And it's funny because one of my friends called me a iPad kid when I play it because I'm literally just obsessed over it. It's one of those games that I pick up when the days are rough and I don't really want to mess with a lot of story heavy games. It's just the perfect relaxing game. Anyways, the game is about building a farm and meeting new people. But you might be wondering, why is it called the Grand Bazaar? Well, every week on Saturday to be exact, there is this bazaar where a lot of the characters sell their stuff and you could sell your stuff too. You could also buy animals and different techniques to make farming more efficient. It also does serve a story purpose because you want to get on top of the bazaar ranks, and that is essentially the moving story of the game. As for the farming, it's very familiar if you played any farming simulator game, but basically you do the tilting, the planting, and the watering, and you wait a few days until your crops are ready. And there's also these windmills that let you use products to make other products. For example, the milk you get from your cow could be made into cheese or just regular milk. And as the game goes on, you open more windmills and upgrade your stuff. The gameplay loop is so addicting, guys. It's so addicting. And I also would like to add that the visuals of this game are stunning. The portraits are beautiful and it has this kind of color pencil look to it. It's really, really good. And the villagers themselves are actually really solid. Honestly, this game is just fantastic. If you don't like farming sims, then it's probably not for you, but if you're looking for a chill time, I highly recommend it. I finished the main story, but of course, like every farming sim, it's one of those games that go on for a long time. As of recording, Atelier Shallie is stealing my free time, but I still go back to Story of Seasons now and then. Now the last one in the bunch, the banana bunch, is DK Bananza. This game was actually pretty good for a platformer. I usually don't play platformers because I suck at them, and I know it will be a lot of people's potential game of the year, but for me, I wouldn't say it's my game of the year. I'm not alone in this thought, but I feel like this game would have been perfect for a Switch 2 launch instead of Mario Kart World. And not gonna lie, Mario Kart World is kind of boring right now. That's for another video. So DK Bananza is pretty much the Mario of Mario Odyssey. I know most of you know what this game is about, but for some of you, I'll give you a little synopsis. This game is about DK traveling with Pauline to go and find this mega banana that will help Pauline get back to the surface because everything is underground in this world. And yes, it is indeed Pauline from the original Donkey Kong game and in Mario games. I love to see that she's making a comeback, and her character design in the game was really cute. Shout out to freckle representation. We love to see it. And of course, there's these evil enemies in the way. Now they're called the Void Co, who wants to capitalize on the power of the core. It's kind of like a chase to the core. But hey, we are not here about the story. We are here about the gameplay. So DK could potentially dig, punch, or rip off mostly anything. You could literally tear down a whole area, and it's really, really satisfying. Like, it's so fun. Now, Pauline is not just there for decoration. She actually does stuff specifically with her voice. I don't know why her voice is like that, and it wasn't really told to us why she's like that, but she does have a special voice with special powers, and also plays a big part in doing that whole Bananza power-up sections. And each Bananza power-up is kind of like Luffy's power-up in One Piece. The main one is the monkey, where he could do extra destruction. There's the flying ostrich, which lets you fly. There's the zebra that lets you really walk fast. And then there's the snake, which lets you bounce places. They kind of lost the plot towards the end. Now, I did beat the game, but I'm not getting all the bananas. Mainly because that's gonna take forever, and I don't really care for 100%ing that game specifically. And I also didn't get the DLC because I felt like the base game was a good time, but if you want the DLC, you know, go get it. So all of this to say, I know I'm here for JRPGs and RPGs, but DK Bananza is still a really good game, and I do highly recommend it. Probably not my game of the year, but it probably is a lot of people's game of the year. Now that is it for today's video. Please tell me all the games you've played in the comments down below. I would appreciate it. Please like if you like, and consider subscribing if you're not yet subscribed. I do a lot of videos like this, anything RPG or JRPG related, discussions, lists, before you buys, all that good stuff. So if you're into that, then this channel is perfect for you. You can follow me on my socials in the description down below. Hope you guys have a beautiful rest of the day, and as always, play a good game. Peace, peace.